How do you typically cope with uncomfortable emotions? Are those strategies helping you heal or just temporary relief? What would it look like for you to embrace your emotions fully instead of trying to push them away? Can you recall a recent situation where you felt triggered? What feelings surfaced and how did you respond? In today's short but to the point episode, I will provide you several techniques you can use in each situation I describe. Remember, if we want to create lasting change in our life as we grow in our spiritual journey, we must learn to heal our emotional body. And before going into those practices, I want to remind you a couple of things. I will be out until mid July because this is the last episode in May, but I have prepared for you the summer reset. And it's going to be 8 episodes designed to enhance your spiritual growth and mindset transformation using principles from neuroscience and spirituality. Each week will focus on a new theme with actionable exercises that you can implement for meaningful transformation. I highly recommend 2 things: a journal and a wheel of life to keep track of your progress. The journal, you can buy one from my Amazon storefront, and the Wheel of Life, you can download it on the free resource tab of my website, Michelle Maripacheco. Next week, we're going to start this amazing journey, so make sure to get those and make sure to tell your friends. It's a great way to have accountability through this process. And it's during summer, and just make sure to engage and do the homework for the week. Okay, now let's get started with the episode.
Hello, beautiful soul. What beliefs do you hold about yourself that might be limiting your potential? In what areas of your life do you feel you are not living authentically? What fears prevent you from expressing your true self? In what ways do you feel disconnected from your higher self, and what beliefs contribute to this disconnection? Welcome to Neuro Soul Sync, a podcast that blends neuroscience and spirituality, exploring the connection of our spiritual and emotional lives with the neuroscience of our bodies and brain. I'm Michelle Marie, your host, certified spiritual neurocoach, IVF twin mompreneur, lover of human design, and all things personal development. A few years ago, I felt exactly like that, yearning to live on purpose and authentically. I wanted to live fearlessly, prioritizing my needs and creating a life aligned to my core values and beliefs. And I was able to master this through neuroplasticity, spirituality, energetics, and the exact simple tools I will share with you here. I believe that when we are in alignment with who we are, life transforms from stuck and resistant to a journey of flow, impacting not only ourselves, but the collective consciousness. So if you're ready to get in the driver's seat of your life, live with authenticity, and discover simple yet powerful solutions that will guide you from feeling stuck to fulfill, this is your sacred space. Let's get ready to vibe high, align, and manifest.
Welcome to the podcast, friend. How are you doing? Let me tell you, I'm doing a lot better. I don't know if you have noticed in my stories in my Instagram, but I went through a very challenging period through the entire month of May. I was diagnosed with uterine cancer and I had to undergo a very fast operation, and they took everything away, and I am very, very happy. But the process of healing was a little bit rough, and I added in my stories, and everything that I have learned, everything, all those years that I have been going through my spiritual journey, I have put everything into practice. Everything that I am teaching you here in this podcast, everything that I teach my coaching clients, all of that I practice so that I can, heal properly and live a very healthy life from now on. So make sure that if you are taking the time to listen to me, or if you're interested in coaching with me, no matter what it is, or if you are in your personal development journey, remember, always, always do the work, keep a good vibration, course correct when necessary, and do the digging, find those limitations, work through them. The only way way out is through. So I wanted to take this moment and also thank you for being so supportive in my social media, in Instagram, sending me love, sending me healing thoughts. I want to thank you. Thank you. Okay, with that being said, listen, summer is around the corner. Aren't you happy? And I know that many of you are going away for summer. However, I decided to do this summer reset so that you can go ahead and listen to the podcast every week and do the challenges that I have for you. And this episode is going to be brief, and the episodes coming up are going to be brief episodes. They're going to be focused on a little bit of learning what is it about that week and then the homework. And you can take this wherever you go, and you're going to love this, and you can tell your friends to do it with you. Today, we're going to explore the power of feeling, how our emotions can sometimes feel overwhelming, triggering, or even confusing. But what if I told you that these feelings are not just obstacles, but gateways to deeper understanding and healing? In this episode, we're going to discuss practical tools to help you recognize, embrace, and navigate your emotions, allowing you to turn your triggers into transformative experiences. So grab a cozy spot wherever you are, take a deep breath, and let's do this together. And if you're driving, come back to this episode because it's time to feel it all and find healing throughout this process. We have all experienced the effects of dysregulated nervous system. Remember that I talked about this, I think in episode 16, if I'm not mistaken, especially during stressful situations or arguments. If we haven't established a grounding practice or a nervous system regulation practice, our nervous system can enter survival mode because it feels like it's in a danger, right? And it leads to reactive behaviors. The techniques I'm going to share here with you are designed for use in these challenging moments. It's important to remember to ground yourself in your self-worth and is in a sense of safety and security. This is what we want when we do nervous system regulation. When we become emotionally triggered or we resist a situation, it often connects back to something from our past, usually during childhood. However, by actively taking charge of our emotional responses, we can cultivate a healthier, more regulated environment for ourselves and also help our nervous system regulate and our brain to create those new neural pathways. And that's how we create change. If you want to know more about nervous system regulation, remember to listen to episode 16. I'm going to make sure to leave the link in the show notes for you. Now let's get into these techniques. How many times have you felt anxious, stressed, triggered? We all have felt that. And in psychology, anxiety is often described as a future-oriented response to a perceived but not necessarily real threat. While fear is a response to an immediate threat, anxiety anticipates future problems and can lead to muscle tension, avoidance behavior, and other physical symptoms. And I'm talking about anxiety here because this is what I see a lot in my coaching clients, a lot of anxiety. And a simple and effective practice that you can do when you feel resistant, when you feel triggered, or when you feel anxious is the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. And this can help you regain your focus, regain your calm when you feel triggered. Here is how it works. And I think this one will work great when you are alone, or if you're in a gathering, you can go and step aside, go to the bathroom, go to a place that you're alone and do this 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. So the first things you're going to do is to look around you and identify 5 things that you can see. 5 things that you can see. This helps bring your attention to the present moment. So automatically you're going to ground yourself in the present moment. Then you're going to notice 4 things you can physically feel. It could be the texture of your clothing, the surface you're sitting on, the ground beneath your feet. If you're out in a patio, you can connect to nature, touch the plants. So you're going to notice 4 things you can physically feel. Then you're going to listen for 3 sounds in your environment. This could be the hum of a fan, the chattering of distant conversations. You can listen to the birds, maybe the music. You're going to listen for 3 sounds in your environment. Then you're going to identify 2 scents in your surrounding. If you cannot smell anything right away, you can think about your favorite scents. And then you're going to focus on one thing that you can taste. It could be the aftertaste of a meal, or a sip of water, or your favorite beverage. This technique helps to anchor you in the present and can ease feelings of anxiety or feelings of resistance or trigger. Another way that you can engage in this exercise and do it a little differently is visualizing a scene you cherish using the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you can start by imagining a beautiful sunset as your favorite visual, right? You're going to choose a visual that you love. It can be the sunset, the sunrise, nighttime, moonlight, whatever it is that is your favorite visual. And then you're going to think of something you love to touch. It can be leather, it can be a soft clothing, whatever it is, like a soft leather chair. Then you're going to consider a soothing sound, for example, the gentle ocean waves, right? Then you're going to bring the scent you love. It can be lavender, jasmine. And finally, you can choose a taste that you enjoy, perhaps a warm cup of tea or coffee, a glass of champagne, a nice wine. And once you have these sensory elements in your mind, you can create your perfect scene. So it can be picturing yourself watching the sunset while seated in your favorite leather chair at your beach home, listening to the waves, sipping your evening wine, and relishing the delightful aroma of lavender candle. You can create a scene that will automatically bring you peace, tranquility, and ground you in the present moment. And this is going to give you a sense of safety and it's going to calm your nervous system. Number 2, another effective practice for awareness of our emotions is the RAIN technique, which stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. This technique is great if you are alone and you can take the time to go through all the steps. Those moments where our minds start thinking of worst case scenario, we can do this. So the first thing is recognize. When you feel that resistance in your body, when you feel resistant or triggered and you don't know what it is, recognize, acknowledge what you're feeling. Take a moment to identify the emotion. Don't judge it. Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it anxiety, frustration? Whatever it is, just don't judge it and take time to identify. The second thing you're going to do is to allow. You're going to give yourself permission to feel that emotion because we don't want to suppress or ignore it. We want it to allow it to be present, right? We don't want to have pent up emotions in our bodies because what happens with pent up emotions? The pent up emotions tend to accumulate and then our energetic bodies can also feel very strained. And then that's how we develop diseases in our bodies. So we're going to allow that emotion to be present. We're not going to dwell on it. We're going to allow it to be present. And you're going to remind yourself that it's okay to feel this way, right? Because sometimes we want to shove our emotions under the carpet, but it's never a good idea. We have to deal with them. And then we're going to Number 3, investigate. Once we have recognized and allow, what you want to do is investigate, explore the emotion more deeply. Ask yourself questions like, why am I feeling triggered? Why am I feeling frustrated? Why do I have this fear? Is this a result of a past experience? Where did I feel this before? Is this from childhood? Where do I feel this emotion in my body? Where does it live? Is it in my shoulders? Is it in my stomach? Is it in my hips, my legs? What thoughts are accompanying this emotion? When I feel fear of this, what comes through my head? We have to investigate, my friend, because that's how we are going to create lasting change, because once we investigate, we get to know where it comes from, we see it, we can work through it and release whatever it is that we need to release. And lastly, and most important, you have to nurture. You have to offer yourself compassion, understanding. What is it that you need at the moment? If you realize that the emotion is in your shoulder or your heart, what is it that you need? Do you need a hug? Do you need words of affirmation? Or if you realize that that emotion carries a limiting belief from the past because it comes from a past experience or a trauma that you had, what is it that you needed at the moment of that past experience? What is it that your 7-year-old needed at that moment? Did it need a hug, nurturing? Did it need to be seen, words of affirmation? It's like reparenting yourself. You might say something comforting to yourself, like, it's okay to feel this way, or you can visualize and provide kindness to your emotional self. Or if you listen closely, your higher self will tell you exactly what you need at that moment. Practicing this RAIN practice can help you develop a deeper awareness of your emotions and cultivate a more compassionate relationship with yourself. And let me tell you something. If you start practicing this every time you feel triggered, or if you let me tell you a little story. When my doctor called me to tell me my diagnosis of positive in cancer, I allowed the fear to kick in, but I didn't allow it to rule my life. I went in through the process of RAIN. I acknowledged what I was feeling. I gave myself permission to feel that emotion, but I didn't dwell on it. And then I investigated. Of course, I knew why I was feeling fear. And then I nurtured and gave compassion and understanding to what I was feeling. And I felt very calm. Even the doctor told me, oh my God, you're keeping your cool. I love your mindset. I love what you're doing. If you keep doing this, you're going through this process very fast. And we have to take that time to do this. Once you start practicing this and doing this process, it's going to come to you second nature, and you're going to be able to tackle your emotions in a faster and deeper way, and you're going to be able to move through them quickly. Okay, before we move forward with the last part of this episode, and if you enjoy what you heard, there are several ways you can come into my world. Number one is signing up to the newsletter, and I have told you this before that I give coaching tips and motivational insights for you, and it comes out weekly. So I'm not going to bombard you every day, and you can sign up. The link is going to be in the show notes. The second way is to visit my website, michellemaripacheco.com, and you can check it out. Go through all the tabs, get to know me a little, go to the freebies tab, get your goodies, your human design chart. I mean, there's a lot of things there for you. And also, the Summer Reset Challenge is here. It's starting next week. You're going to love it. And it's going to be 8 weeks that's going to help you to enhance your spiritual growth and mindset transformation using principles from neuroscience and spirituality. And let me remind you that you can go back through all the episodes to listen to some of the lessons, because the Summer Reset Challenge is more about doing certain steps that is going to help you in mindset transformation and spiritual growth. But if you want to deepen the lesson, you have to go back to the other episodes that are published already. And make sure you buy your journal for this challenge. You can do so in my Amazon storefront. It's a great way to keep track of your progress, because sometimes we go into these challenges, but we forget to track our progress. And this is very, very important. Now, let's get back to the other practice that I have for you in this episode. Okay, one practice that you can actually do when you are in an argument or in a stressful situation, when you're arguing with your spouse, with your friend, with your coworker, with your boss, with your children, with everybody, you can breathe. Yes, friend, you can actually do this in the moment. Trust me, I do this and it works. And breathing is very, very powerful. And a simple and effective grounding techniques you can use in a stressful situation is the box breathing method. And how you do it is that you're going to inhale. You're going to take a deep breath through your nose for a count of 4. It will allow you to fill your lungs fully. Then you're going to hold your breath for a count of 4. This allows the air to settle in your lungs. Then you're going to exhale for a count of 4, releasing all the air and the tension. And then you're going to hold your breath again for a count of 4 before taking your next breath. Repeat this cycle for several rounds. Box breathing helps to calm your nervous system, reduces stress, and brings your focus back to the present moment, making it easier to navigate challenging conversations and situations. And here's what I do sometimes. If I take a moment to breathe and I notice that the argument is not subsiding, the other person is probably high up in the sky, with anger, I let the other person know that I prefer to discuss things when we are both in a better mental space. That's it. Because you know what, friend? The reality is that there's no need to remain in a heated argument just to make a point. The point can wait until both parties are calm. Okay, beautiful soul. Those are the techniques. I want to mention really quick that these not only help in grounding, but also in nervous system regulation and connection to inner peace. Next time you're triggered, resistant, or in a stressful situation, which one are you willing to try? Remember, the way to rewire is by taking the new, different action when you are faced with the same situation. Yes, it's the only way to create new results, to start creating new neural pathways, and by repetition, you will start creating that lasting change you truly want. Neuroplasticity, people. Okay, this is where I leave you. Remember that next week starts the Summer Reset Challenge. I'm so excited to be with you in this challenge. And the episodes are going to be short, but packed with actionable exercises you can do each week. Make sure you purchase your journal. Thanks for joining me today. It is my wish that this episode serves and blesses you. Remember, living in alignment is a journey. Embrace each moment as a choice to connect deeper to your true self. Until next time, keep syncing your mind and soul to create a life in alignment. I'm sending you love.
I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love creating it. If what you heard helped you, the number one way you can thank me is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. My mission is that you feel empowered and more spiritually connected after listening, so your feedback means the world to me. Just scroll down to where it says write a review and leave me yours. And if you love what Neuro Soul Sync is about, please share with your family and friends. I believe the world becomes a better place when we come together collectively to make the change. I look forward to be with you next week.